What's up, guys? On this week's show, what's your fantasy?
An Unchartered movie, but for real this time?
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me is my co-host, DJ MacLeod.
Hey!
Before we get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media. Whatever you choose to do, just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at Giant Leap, the number 4 Geeks. Or you can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver. Mel?
Yes?
What your ass been doing?
We took another Whirlwind Adventure T-Money and Mel trip.
Yeah, where to this time?
We went to Wisconsin, and
nice.
T-Money had some tennis regionals that we were gonna, go whip butt at. He did really well.
Okay.
He was really hard on himself, but he made it to the semifinals of the bronze bracket.
Oh, nice.
So there was like 30 teams there, and the top 15 played in the gold, the next 6 played in the silver, and then the next 6 after that played in the bronze.
Nice.
So
well, he still placed, so
yeah.
good.
He placed. They almost beat the team that they were playing. Unfortunately, they played literal back-to-back. Like, they were supposed to play 12, 2, and 4:30. They ended up playing 12, 2:35. Like, from 12 until 2:35 is when the first one was done. 2:36 until 4:15.
God damn.
And then if they would have won the last one, they would have went on right at 4:30.
Oh yeah, they would have been
so
burnt out.
he was just exhausted.
I'm sure.
And he was doing really well and cracked one of his rackets. So I don't know if you are a big follower of tennis or you know much about equipment for tennis, but that's a $350 racket.
Ouch.
And he went to serve and cracked. I was sitting about 50 feet away from him on the other side of the court, and I heard it crack.
Ugh.
And after that, he just kept serving with it and ultimately didn't get the chance to win. But it's all right. He had fun, and once I kind of talked him out of his funk, it was all right. We tried a couple new places. We were in Madison, Wisconsin, and they had this cutest little breakfast, like, hipster bar that we went to.
Nice.
I can't remember the name of it.
It's like everybody had, like, twirled mustaches.
they dude, for real. Like the little,
monocle?
No.
Oh, the Monopoly Man?
Yeah, the Monopoly Man. His monocle, but, like, if they were glasses.
Oh, my God.
So what is that actor?
Like,
Woody Harrelson. No, Woody
Allen?
Yes, Woody Allen.
Okay.
Little Woody Allen glasses.
Oh my God.
And there was like this guy that had to be, 85. He was a busboy and he was clearing tables. And the server guy, he looked like the Ty Pennington from the Home Makeover Edition show with like a tattoo behind his ear.
Okay, I'm like, I don't get that reference.
Yeah,
okay.
it was cute. It was cute. And then we
sounds fun.
ate at some little Mexican restaurant. We went bowling as a team.
Nice.
I got nominated as.
So after you played like tennis all day, it's like, let's go bowling.
It was 3 days. So we left on Thursday, and then we drove to Wisconsin. And Friday they played all day.
Okay.
And then so Friday everybody was wore out.
Okay.
We ate and then we went back to the hotel.
Sure.
Saturday is when they played back to back, and then after that we're like, okay, well let's we still have the hotel for another night. It's only 5:00. Let's go find something to eat. And then we went bowling. So we went to this really cute Mexican little restaurant for dinner that night. We all went bowling. That was great. I got nominated as team mom.
Nice.
Because I sat with everybody's like coats and jackets and extra clothes and the tennis bags that they weren't using and their bag of snacks and whatever. So one of the kids is like, yeah, she's just really sweet. And she's like a mom for the team. And they're like, team mom. All right.
That's funny.
It was cute. It kind of meant a lot to me when I was in sports. My mom was the water mom.
Aww.
She always made sure we had snacks and water and kept track of all of our shit. So I got nominated tennis mom. Had to tell her. I was like, that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, that was what I did all weekend.
Nice.
And then went and watched a movie. And that was about it.
Nice.
Been kind of cleaning up the house since then.
I gotta stop letting you go first because mine are always so like lackluster.
Whatever.
She's like, yeah, and then we traveled the country, and then we went to this hipster restaurant, and we took a picture with Muhammad Ali, and okay.
Whatever.
It's like, and then I got proposed to on the Rocky Steps and shit, and I'm like, God,
that
damn.
only happened once. Okay?
Right. It's like, what'd you do? It's like, I had my thumb in my ass.
That's fun too.
I was eating some Cheetos.
Whatever. Ooh, cheesy thumb in the ass.
Right. Oh God.
What did you do this week?
So, again, nothing nowhere near as exciting, but I did have a little argument with a person on YouTube.
Okay.
Now before we get started, I understand. You don't go to the comment section of anything. I was going to say the YouTube comments, but anything. Just don't read the comments. It's always going to be some shit. If it's anything that's even kind of controversial, and honestly, nowadays,
everything.
Anything. Just literally anything. It could just be a YouTube video with just a white background, and somebody would probably, say some racial slur at the bottom of it. Who fucking knows? Like, it's crazy. But I won't go into exactly what the argument was about, but it was a heated debate, I guess you could say. And at some point or another, the guy calls me a nerd. like that was his like he's like, oh, you're a fucking nerd or some shit like that. Like that
we're
was,
in the fucking 80s movie.
Like that was
nerd!
his like his zinger insult. He was like, I got him with that shit. He a nerd. Fuck that motherfucker. And I'm like and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, because you never heard that one before.
I was like, he called me a nerd. Oh boy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can't breathe. Whew. Oh, I'm hyperventilating. Wait, I need a bag. Man, he called me a nerd in 2020 when fantasy and superhero genres are the most profitable mediums of all time, and you can't make $1 billion movie unless somebody got cape or spandex in it. I'm about to have to go burn all my Captain America shirts. I hope he doesn't find out I got Spider-Man tattoos. Posters.
I was gonna say, you got new tattoos on?
No. I do want to get a Spider-Man tattoo, but I don't have one yet. Oh my God. Whew. If he sees my Avengers jacket, oh my God, he might kill me. Whew. It was rough. I had to really beg him not to tell other people and to keep this on the DL. Please. Oh my God, if he finds out I host a podcast about movies, video games, and pop culture, oh my God.
It's called One Giant Leap.
Oh my God. I should have corrected him though. Sir,
I would have.
Sir, I'm a geek, not a nerd. Nerds are just really smart people. Geeks are just really knowledgeable about pop culture. It's not the same thing. Please
oh God,
right.
That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh no, it was good times. It was good times.
That's so funny.
And then
see, you still had a good week.
Yeah, no, that was pretty funny. And then I had an experience just today actually.
Oh, okay.
Where at my place of work. I am responsible for things.
Okay.
And I had to let someone go around Christmas time.
Ooh.
And their significant other happens to work not too far from where I do, and we have to go to the same bank. And this now no names to protect the innocent. But this said person so happened to see me getting out of my car, coming into the bank, walking behind her.
Significant
other of the
person.
Person I had to let go.
All right.
And proceeded to now the bank that we have has two doors. There's the outside door, and then there's an inner door to the vestibule that's in between the actual bank and the other door.
Gotcha. Where the ATM usually is.
Sure, stuff like that. Yeah, and so. She opens the first door. She looks back. She sees me. I go to reach for it. She just lets it go. Doesn't hold it for me. Just lets it just go to close. And I'm just like, okay. Go to the next door. Does the same thing. I'm like, okay, fuck you too. So we're standing in the bank. There was no one else in there besides the tellers. So we go up and we're the only 2 people in there standing right next to each other at the little thing. And I can just like see like the little rage like aura coming off her. Right. Like an anime when like someone's evil and you see the little dark lines around them and shit. Like I was just like, ooh, I could smell the anger. I could like taste it. Damn. The air got thick. She was so mad. I was like, God damn, this bitch is mad as hell. Which, you know, I mean, look, when you are responsible for stuff, you know, people, you're always going to be the bad guy to somebody.
I mean, I'm sure you didn't do it out of
It was
spite.
no out of maliciousness, and it was his own doing. I mean, he was causing drama and gossiping, and it was a temporary hire in the first place, so what can you do? But,
right.
You know, it was like no hard feelings. Like, and I even told him when I let him go, like, hey, nothing against you, man. It's like, but I just don't have no spot for you on the team right now, and I got to let you go.
Right.
I'm sorry.
This
you know,
isn't
you
the
knew
place.
It was temporary from the get-go, but I don't know what he went and told her, but she was like, fuck you. and it was just like, you know, and I made a post on Facebook about it because I'm like, you know, I'm not a mean person, but it does, the fact that just seeing me makes you visibly angry does give me a little bit of satisfaction. I'm not gonna lie. I do find it kind of amusing. Call me an asshole, I don't know, but hey.
No, T-Money's like that too. If he knows that something is gonna piss somebody off, he'll do it just in spite.
Right, just to fuck with you.
Just like if somebody tells him he can't do something, he's gonna do it backwards and upside down just to be like, fuck you.
Right, just to let you know how much I don't
Right.
All right. Moving on.
I'm not going to lie, the whole time, I was waiting for this to turn into another shit show like last week. So far, so good.
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geek, so you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right. So this week on Dumb Shit, I don't know what it was. Either I was getting really lucky or there was a plethora of dumb shit. But I found like 6 stories. So I had to kind of weed them all out, and I put some of them in the reserve tank because they're still, you know, they'll still be relevant, you know, 2-3 weeks down the road. But this one really stuck out to me. Okay. So the title says, an evil husband has admitted to sealing his wife's vagina shut with superglue after she allegedly cheated on him with 4 different men.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
So we need to hear more. Right.
Yes, please. God damn. Okay.
Dennis Mumo from southern Kenya has claimed that he learned his wife was cheating on him through various social media messages.
Uh-huh.
She would cheat on him anytime he went out of town or went out on business.
Uh-huh.
Before his last business trip to Rwanda, he sealed his wife's genitals with super glue. And I'm not talking like the $2 super glue that you can kind of pull apart.
Yeah, not like Elmer's.
I'm talking
shit, yeah.
like the E85 industrial strength glue.
Okay.
This sickening attack left his wife in excruciating pain and needing urgent medical attention. No shit.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't need like gory details, but I'm just like, did he do it while she was asleep, or did he like tie her up or some crazy shit?
Well, it didn't go into that many details.
Okay.
Probably for very good reason.
Jesus
But
Christ.
it did say news of his crimes horrified his neighbors and he was arrested by the police. So I can only imagine that he did it while she was sleeping and then she woke up and told the neighbors, hey, my husband glued my vagina shut.
Right. So maybe thought he was trying to get frisky in the morning or
right,
some
right.
shit.
Yeah. And so he confessed to the incident, claiming to the police that he had done it to save his marriage. He told officers that he had evidence of his wife having affairs with 4 different men after looking at her sent and received messages.
I mean,
Okay, so
stories like this, I hate when you pick these kind of stories.
I know.
Because stories, it's hard for me to try and make this funny and not be in bad taste, but
I mean, there was this one or glittery dog balls. I mean,
Jesus Christ,
they were all kind of the same lines.
I don't get why. What I don't understand is, for one, why would you do that to any person for any reason?
The only thing that I can think of is it said that he's in Kenya, so maybe they don't have like the same laws and stuff that we do for spouses and cheating.
I'm sure that's
I'm sure
not
that
legal.
it's not like this, like third world.
No, I can almost
over
guarantee
there.
you that ain't legal. But no, my thing is, what he did is horrible, but his reasoning behind it is so absurd because he's like, I'm doing it to save my marriage.
Right. There are other ways to save your marriage.
Right, but and this is the thing I'm trying to like tiptoe around. Fuck it. What was the plan to get her unsuperglued together once you got back? Because you did it so she wouldn't fuck around while you were gone. But did you not plan on having sex with her again after that? Like, what was I feel like he didn't think this through.
Probably not.
Beyond, like, just the initial, act itself. Because I'm like,
most revenge,
even if
most
he had
revenge
some kind
doesn't. Think about when a girl keys a car.
Sure.
Okay, so...
Well, like, you know what I thought of as soon as you brought up the story?
What?
Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah.
I'm like, she cut her boyfriend's dick off for cheating. And I'm like, and that shit's horrible, but people made jokes about that shit all the time. But I'm like, I feel like it's in poor taste to make a joke about a man supergluing his wife's vagina shut. Like, that's...
I'm with you. Like, think things through, please.
Right. It's like the fact that this was even an option in your mind is horrible.
Right. Says a lot about this guy as a person.
Right, but on top of that...
I worry for Dennis and his wife.
Right, on top of that, besides the fact that that's horrible, what was the plan, man? Like, how were you going to undo this?
Have you ever tried to get that industrial strength glue off of anything?
I mean, sure, maybe some, like, acetone or something shit, but that would fuck her up even more. So it's like, even if you did get the glue off... Like, she gonna have chemical burns and all kind of shit. It's like, she'd be, like, fucked up for life. Like, you would never be able to sleep together again after that. So even if you thought that this was gonna, like, it's, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bad.
All of it is bad.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Like I said, it came between this and glittery dog balls, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Because the glittery dog balls, they were dipping the dog's balls in glue and dipping them in glitter. Like, if I took Daisy to the vet, or not to the vet, but to the groomers, and she come back, and she was a boy dog, and she had glittery testicles, I'd be like, what the fuck are y'all doing over there?
Right, like, you sick motherfuckers. Like, why you playing with my dog's balls and shit, you nasty sons of bitches?
If you took Parker... to the
groomer. I killed, man. Let me look. Don't
he'd walk by you and he had some glittery gold balls or silver balls, and you'd be like scratching your head.
Well, luckily he has no balls no more. But,
prior to the removal
but even
of the
if
balls.
he did, or if they put it on his shed, anything like, why is you touching his genitals? That is not required for you to groom him. You can just move his little shit to the side and shave around his shit and call it good. Like. You shouldn't be having him teabag a bowl of glitter at no point during that process. Right.
So it was either glue and glitter or glue and glue. So, I mean, I went with
yeah, I guess. Jesus.
I guess. I mean...
Well, okay.
Don't put glue on your genitals.
Did they at least...
they arrested him.
To help the woman?
It didn't go into any kind of detail about that. I don't know. Jesus, wait. Here we go. He is to be in court within the week, charged with domestic abuse and assault.
I would hope so.
He's also accused of damaging his wife's reproductive organs and risking making her infertile. So
That's fair, yeah.
Oh, he is demanding that she receive a counter of 100 lashes for her cheating crimes to prevent any further misunderstandings.
Yeah, man, it's like you gotta get the fuck out of that marriage in that country. It's time to go because fuck the bullshit.
No update on her,
Jesus Christ.
other than attempt on her reproductive organs. So maybe they're still running tests. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll probably follow up with that just for my own curiosity.
If she don't have one now, she need to get her a GoFundMe page started. I promise you. Let enough people hear about this shit, and you will get the money you need to get the fuck wherever you need to go today.
Yep.
Shit, I promise you, by the time you done listening to this podcast, you'd have enough money to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. If anybody ever came at me with some glue, I'm not saying that this would ever be T-Money because he's like the greatest guy ever. But if anybody ever came at me in my sleep with some glue or while I was awake with some glue and you're like, here, I'm going to glue. No, you're not. Not gluing anything.
Nah.
Like, even the people that are into like BDSM and they're like, oh, here, we're going to come at you with wax and fire. No, you're not.
It's like, no,
it's not happening.
Not doing
like,
it for
there's a lot of things that I'd be okay with, and wax and fire is not one of them. Glue is another one. No, you're not gluing anything shut. You're not gluing anything onto me. It's not happening. Sorry. The craziness is that it is 2020, and granted, I know that not every country is as advanced as America.
Sure.
Take that as you may.
Sure.
But we should not have people gluing other people's genitals shut. If they're cheating, just leave them.
Yeah.
Like, I know that in some cultures, oh, shame on your family and shame on this. You'd rather be labeled a domestic violence abuser than leave somebody? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So I think in 2020, no matter where we are in the world, we probably should do something to kind of steer away from this kind of thing happening.
Agreed.
I don't know. Just me. Again, I know that some people
call me crazy.
Yeah, I know some people are into some kinky stuff.
Call me a radical.
In BDSM, whatever. That's a whole different ballgame. This was not a pleasurable act for her, and she's risking infertility at this point. Because that stuff has got some crazy chemicals that...
Right.
Even as a crafter, I use it sparingly. Like, I bought a tube a year ago, and now I think I still have half a tube, you know?
And then, like I said, God knows what processes they had to use to get it off her. So.
Right. Yeah, because that's real thin tissue. I'm good.
Yeah, that whole thing is fucked up.
Yep. So, be aware of if you plan on cheating on your spouse. Make sure they're not crazy. Just a thought. Also, just don't. Hey, I don't want to be with you no more. I want to be with these other 4 people. Whatever. Anything else, because you don't know what people will do. My dumb shit process is pretty easy. I mean, I scroll through Facebook, I scroll through Twitter, and then, of course, I take them stories and kind of entertain the idea of, oh, well, they can fit on the show. I do a little digging, and then voila. Dumb shit of the week. So if you have come across something in a similar manner, or, you have something that, oh, this should make dumb shit of the week, I'll consider it. You got to send it to me, though. You can email it, officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can send it via Twitter. I am @FroggyBeaver. However, if you want a response, you'd best to send it to the show at 1GiantLeap4Geeks, also on Twitter, because I don't tweet very much. Sorry, guys. I'm trying, but I have a lot of things going, and Twitter is kind of at the bottom of my list. So
totally understand.
I'll get it eventually, but
I carry the Twitter front. No worries.
Send it to MC Squared here. He'll make sure I get it.
Got you.
other than that, stay smart, kids.
Jesus Christ, Mel, warn us the next time that dumb shit of the week is going to be so dark.
Doggy, welcome back to another episode of Most of the Movie News. I'm hotter than a yim yam and a flim flam, and I'm ready to talk about some movie stuff, ain't you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It felt appropriate at the time.
I like it.
Okay, so first...
You gotta leave the oh, yeah in there, like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh,
Right,
yeah.
Oh, yeah! Well, we're off to a great start.
Yes.
So, first up, we have some information and update on Spider-Man's status in the MCU. Now, for those
That was a horrible drum roll.
that it was that may have been under a rock or dead or whatever, Marvel and Sony had a divorce for a little bit.
Yep.
They kind of had like a tenuous relationship where they were sharing Spider-Man, like a joint custody kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then they broke that off.
Yes.
It was very sad. People were upset.
Yes.
It was looking very grim for a while there. But they managed to come back together.
Because of their child, Tom Holland.
Yep. The
baby.
They did some Parent Trap shit and he got them back together. And so now we have an update on that deal or the possible future of Spider-Man in the MCU. Because once they did come back together, they made a deal for an additional Spider-Man movie and one other appearance in a unknown Marvel film. So probably an Avengers crossover or something or other. That's what we know.
Okay.
But that's 2 movies. That's it. That's all we know for sure. But now we have a little bit more information. So I'm getting this from Superhero Hype. It says last year Spider-Man was almost pulled out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but eventually Sony and Disney managed to reach a deal for a new MCU Spider-Man movie coming in 2021 and other potential tie-ins. However, it sounds like the studios aren't eager for another Spider-Man divorce. During the Hollywood Reporter's recent studio executive discussion, Sony Pictures chairman Tom Rothman and Disney chief creative officer Alan Horn discussed how everything managed to come to terms over Spider-Man. Quote, the fan base, which is important to all of us, seemed to really respond to what Tom Rothman and his folks had done before with our people, and they like it, explained Horn. They like the fact that the MCU and Kevin Feige were involved, and we heard feedback out there that suggested joining forces once again was probably really a good idea. Quote, I think this was a classic win-win-win, added Rothman. I think it's a win for Sony, I think it's a win for Disney, and I think it's a win for the fans. So, there hasn't been a new deal announced so far, but from the way they're talking that they will try and come to some kind of long-term agreement to keep him in the MCU, and we won't keep doing this every couple of years shit like we taking him back, like I'm taking my ball and going home. Fuck you, he's mine. So hopefully, I mean, look, unless Disney buys Sony for the foreseeable future, Sony owns Spider-Man whole stop, like as far as like movie rights go. You know, Disney still gets the toys and shit like that, you know, profits, but as far as the movie goes, that Sony owns Spider-Man, unfortunately. But it sounds like they're gonna play nice and, you know, work together.
We hope.
That also means that we're probably gonna start integrating Venom and Morbius and all this other horse shit that Sony's putting out into the MCU. So don't be surprised when Venom shows up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because I promise you it's coming. But I mean, hey, look, if that means we get to keep Spidey, maybe, you know, Marvel can have some sway over these Venom and Morbius movies and make them not be total horse shit. I don't know.
Maybe
we'll see. I don't know. And I know some people out there loved Venom. You know, it made damn near $1 billion. So hey, what do I know?
I didn't hate it.
So there you go.
You hated it.
No,
you really fucking hated it.
Loathe that movie.
Loathed entirely.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next story. I never did, as promised, get around to reviewing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order completely. I did give my thoughts on it somewhat when we did our Best of 2019. But it's a really cool game. You should check it out. It's fun. If you like Star Wars, I think you'll love it. And if you just like action RPG style games, I think you'll still like it as well. But I'm getting this from Heroic Hollywood. In a recent report from Kotaku, site editor Jason Schreier broke down the various Star Wars projects that had started development before being canceled by EA. This included the infamous cancellation of the Visceral Games Star Wars project, a Star Wars Battlefront spinoff titled Viking, and another known as Orca. But this report also mentions that a sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is in development. Sadly, this report doesn't give any details on when this sequel would be released or what it would be about. But they are working on a sequel to the game. So we know that. I mean,
cool.
that's barely news, but that's why it's in here, because it's not important enough to talk about it for more than what we're doing right now. All right. Next story.
All right.
This I am also getting from Superhero Hype. We have talked about this on podcasts once before. I think actually maybe once or twice before. But Tom Holland is, as well as Mark Wahlberg, are cast to play Nathan Drake and Sully, respectively, in the Unchartered movie, which has been in development hell for years. And they keep, yes, we're doing it, we're pushing it back, we're maybe doing it, we switched directors, okay, it might be for real this time, so we'll see. But
wait a minute. No.
Right.
Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute.
Right. They cornered Tom Holland on the red carpet, and they mentioned the movie and brought up like what the status was of it, and he had this to say. He said, "If I'm honest, one of my favorite video games ever is the fourth Uncharted game. Unbelievable. And lots of the inspiration from the film has come from that game in particular." Holland said, "It was interesting. When I sat down with Sony Pictures chairman Tom Rothman, and we were talking about video games, and I was like, oh, I've just finished Uncharted. And he was like, well, why don't you play Nathan Drake? I remember being like, I would do anything to play Nathan Drake. Please, that would be amazing. So yeah, we start shooting in like 4 weeks. Mark Wahlberg is going to be an amazing as Sully. The stunt department that we have out there in Berlin have done an amazing job already prepping the stunts, and it's going to be an exciting one. He also went on to say there was definitely a lot of inspiration that came from the games, but it's a very young, fresh take on the character, because obviously we didn't get to meet him all that much when he was younger," Holland explained. "But it's a pretty awesome movie, and it's global. We travel the world, we see some amazing places, and Mark Wahlberg and I are going to have a great summer together." So
that's the only way that they could get a straight answer.
Yeah.
Because they know Tom Holland can't keep a secret.
No, that boy cannot keep his mouth shut for shit. That's why I'm like, he's the perfect Peter Parker, because he is the quintessential fuck up. Like, god damn it, if you shut your goddamn ass up. Shit. I'm like, he ruined fucking Infinity War way before the movie even came out and shit. I think he was on Jimmy Kimmel or some shit.
Yeah, he was on one of them late nights.
Yeah, he was talking, and he was like, oh, and he was like, he said that they were giving him fake scripts because they didn't want him to spoil the movie, so he didn't know which script he was reading was the real thing.
Right.
And he got to one of the real script, and he was like, oh, it says, Spider-Man's in space. And he was like, oh, no, this can't be real, this, that, and the other. And so he unknowingly was spoiling the movie to us. Now, granted, we didn't know what Infinity War was going to be about,
right.
But we know that Spider-Man going to be in space things. This silly son of a bitch, like, good job. But, yeah. So in 4 weeks, supposedly, the Uncharted movie is going to start filming. We will see what happens if they can hang on to this director. Once I see a trailer, I'll believe it. But until then, I'm not buying that shit. Sorry, Tom. I love you to death, kid, but they have bullshitted with that movie one too many times for me to be like, yeah, it's happening. This is the one.
Not believing the boy who cries wolf?
Nope. No, don't believe the hype. All right. Next story. So, last week, we had a conversation about Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, the Batman movie. And we got to get a look an official look from Matt Reeves' Twitter of Robert Pattinson in costume as the Caped Crusader, and it had some sample of the score, Michael Giacchino's score for the Batman soundtrack. It was in this red tinted light. Everybody made the joke that he looked like Daredevil, but at first it was kind of jarring because it was so different from what we're used to and what I guess I didn't really know what to expect the Batman suit to look like, but it was definitely not that. But after talking about it with you, and I know, you still weren't really feeling it, but I kind of came around on it, and I was like, this is kind of cool. I need to see more. I said I needed to see some ears. I need to see what the rest of the cape looks like, and the body, like the torso and the armor and the legs and stuff, and the utility belt, to make like a full opinion on it. But I'm like, right now, just from the little bit that they're doing, it's not what I would have done with it, but I'm interested to see where this is going. Now, fast forward to today.
Thank you. I was just waiting for that.
And we got some set photo leaks of now, I want to preface before we say anything else about this. This is not Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit. Okay, this is a stuntman. They are doing some stunt work, some scenes. This is just some dude. Okay, whatever. It's not how he fills out the suit that I'm worried about. It is the suit itself. So, up first, let's start with the cowl. I don't like the ears.
No.
Like at all.
No.
Like,
no.
I
They look
don't...
like... What is that dog?
Like a Doberman?
Yeah.
Yes, he
they
looks
look
like
fucking
oh
Doberman dog
Okay,
ears.
yes, he looks like a Doberman pinscher. Okay, all right, that's one. Also, like, I like the how the eyebrows are like kind of out and like raised. I do like that part. The stitching though, now that I can see it like in a full on, because this is in broad daylight, shots. Like his it's stitched like around, like in a circle around it, his face, like it's like the Adam West.
Right.
It's just not black and gray.
Right.
Like his was, but it's in that style. And I'm like, why is he now? I've already heard people making excuses for this bullshit. Oh, it's gonna look different, in the movie. Now, granted, yeah, set photos and what it's gonna look like on screen, once it's been color corrected and shot with special lenses and all that kind of shit. Yes, this is just some dude took this with his iPhone or some shit on the corner. I got it, but it's not how it looks right now. It's just the style that they went for that bothers me. Like, the first thing I thought when I saw this was, I sent the meme to you, and I think I'm pretty sure I even posted it on Twitter when I first saw it, was the scene from The Dark Knight after he catches the Scarecrow and the Russians and shit that are trying to make the drug deal, and like the little fake like vigilante Batman dudes come out trying to stop him, and he beats them all the fuck up, and he's like, I don't want to see you out here again. And they were like, well, we're just trying to help. What makes you so special? What's the difference between me and you? And he's like, I'm not wearing hockey pads. That is literally what I thought. This motherfucker is wearing hockey pads. Like, why?
It looks like you remember those knee pads that you used to get when you were like 6?
Yeah, man. It looks like...
and they look like they taped like 6 of them to his body.
Like he straight up looks like the shoulder pads look like the knee pads for like did you have like if you were rollerblading or some
and
shit?
And this is the only meme that comes to my mind. Like, it says, oh, this is Batman, and it shows him from Twilight.
Uh-huh.
And then it says, no, this is Batman, and it shows a string of other nameless movies that
nobody
really knows.
that he's in.
And I'm
that he's good in.
Those aren't much better.
Right, and it's like...
They're all still garbage.
Right, it's like, you can like him as an actor, but that don't mean that he is going to be a good Batman.
No.
Al Pacino is a great actor. I would never want to see him as Batman, though.
Right.
And I don't mean just because he old and shit now. You can take Scarface Al Pacino, and I still wouldn't want to see him as fucking Batman.
Right.
Like, no, like, just because you a good actor don't mean that you are good in every role.
Exactly.
Like, would you make Robert Pattinson the Joker as well, motherfucker?
Hell
like,
no.
Come on, like, no. Like, not everybody is fits apart. Like, come on, like, look, on paper, George Clooney should have been the best goddamn Batman and Bruce Wayne combo we ever had. He is basically fucking Bruce Wayne in real life.
Right.
But he was terrible.
God, he was a bad Batman.
Like, he was a horrible Bruce Wayne, too.
He was
like,
even worse Bruce Wayne.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And I
Okay.
like that movie.
Okay.
So
yeah, but we're
my
not
point
going down that
is
rabbit
I
hole.
don't
Yes.
think I'm going to like this.
No.
I
So-
have an idea that how Batman maybe should be if they're going to go this route.
Sure.
And this is not it.
And I get what they're going for. They're going for like this is supposed to be like, I think they said this is his second year of being Batman when this movie takes place. So like it's not like an origin story per se,
No,
but
it's like an in-between thing.
Yeah, he's still like a rookie, like sophomore year Batman, you know. But that being said,
I
I
think they
get
had
it's
a
kind
better
of like a
Batsuit in Gotham, though.
Man, you might be right, and I
You hated that.
I clowned that
Oh,
Batsuit, but
look,
that was better than
Pretty
this shit.
damn close.
Like, okay,
I
like-
do like the motorcycle that he's on.
Man,
though.
that's the thing I hate the most.
What?
Man, it's like, come on, we going again. What are we shooting for? Are we making the Adam West Batman or not? Like, this is some
I
shit.
like the
Adam West
motorcycle.
Batman.
No.
It's not the fact that he's on the bike. The tumbler and the bat bike from The Dark Knight is dope as
No,
shit.
it's not.
Oh man, okay, look, you don't have to like it, but that shit is cool as fuck.
You
that
know what
bike
this looks like?
is dope.
This
This
looks-
shit is corny as hell.
It looks like the George Clooney bike.
Man, exactly. This is some George
It's like
Clooney
Alicia
era.
Silverstone, yeah.
This is some Joel Schumacher Batman
I
shit,
know,
man.
that's why I
They
like
should have
it.
just put nipples on the bike, too, because that is what this looks like. This is hot garbage.
Nah.
Okay, so, and what makes it look so dumb is that suit with this bike do not go together.
Oh, I 100% agree
This
with that.
bike does not belong with him riding it. If y'all was gonna go for this kind of look, if this is the aesthetic you're gonna go for, this should have been that Batman and his amazing friends type Batman riding this shit, like that
Yeah,
cartoon
I
show
agree.
with like Plastic Man and all that bullshit.
Plastic Man.
Like this is the Batman
no, you're right.
that would be riding this
he
bike.
should not.
Like
The
this,
suit does not fit.
like this
he
tactical
does not fit.
with all these gadgets and
Yeah,
he got
no.
like 9 pouches on his utility belt
I
or just
agree.
on the front.
I agree.
Like we can't even see the back. But okay.
I agree. I don't like the suit at all. I like the bike. And I agree that you should have a different Batman in a different suit
Like, he
going
looked
if you're going to
absurd.
do that bike.
And then you know what's so really fucked up too? Now maybe they'll do some CG shit or something with it, like they do with Iron Man. Like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is not always wearing the full on Iron Man suit. Like sometimes he's just
Right.
wearing pieces of it and then
Right.
they CG the rest, just so he's not having to carry it around all the time. But like if you look close, like he's like it's just like some padded shit. Like there's just big gaps in between the plating where he's just wearing like a fucking black hoodie
long
underneath and
sleeve or
shit.
some
This motherfucker got a black thermal on under this shit, and then just some like cargo pants. Like these ain't even like armored. Man, come on, man. Why y'all doing him like this, man? And then
They setting him up for failure.
and then like the torso of the fucking thing is not even like, because like I thought it was cool because it looked like the way they showed it, like it was armor,
Right.
Like the Arkham Knight Batman, like,
Right.
It was some metal shit.
Nah.
This is some
looks
hard
like some
plastic
plastic
shit.
I'm so glad you said that.
Man, oh my god, why is y'all doing him like this?
Yeah, that's...
But no, yes, it looks like hard plastic, man.
Dude,
like this ain't even like, man.
And, like,
the
the
only
way
thing
that
metal
you-
is the gun in the fucking Batsuit.
The way that you got that picture right now where I'm sitting, it looks like he's got those really nice ballpoint pens.
Man, look,
And it looks like he's got like 6 or 7 of them like lined up on each arm.
And you know what's so
strapped
funny?
to each arm.
You say ballpoint pens, and it do. Why is Batman out here allergic to peanuts? He got a bunch of epinephrine pens.
Right?
I was like,
Fucking
like, oh my god,
got some EpiPens.
Oh,
and-
he's fighting crime and allergies at the same time. Oh my god.
And they,
okay,
like,
and then,
I don't have
and
my
then,
glasses on, but
and
looking
then the
at
gauntlet,
them,
and then the
oh
gauntlet.
my god, that gauntlet.
Like it don't even have like the little blades, like the ninja shit.
No,
it's just straps that are hanging off from him tightening. Man, oh my god,
this looks horrible.
I mean, this is again. I have seen Comic-Con like
Right.
costumes that would put this shit to shame. I mean, even for what they going for, because what it looks like they shooting for.
It looks like Adam West meets Daredevil meets the Arkham Knight.
Right,
And that's what we got. And what is
now? This is what they shooting for. Now, this is from like Batman Year Zero.
Okay.
Where like this was like back before the Joker was the Joker, like back when he was Red Hood.
Okay.
And like the Riddler had like cut the power off to the city and all this shit. And
so like a Mad Max type of thing?
Yeah, some Mad Max Batman kind of shit. This is what there's because he got the bike.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like the no cape and the cowl. You know, is different
If
from
that's
his
what they're
tactical,
going for.
But they fucked up.
I want to say, if that's what they're going for, first of all, he has combat pants on, not cargo pants.
Right.
Second of all, he's sleeveless and not got a black hoodie hanging out. Thirdly, dude is ripped and got a hood, and
yeah, it's like if this is what y'all was shooting for,
we are in 2020. There are better ways to do what you were trying to do.
yeah, like this is not the way to have gone about it. And then like people keep going back to this. Oh, he gonna have the white eyes. He gonna have the white eyes because
No.
because if you look, he has goggles.
Yeah, they're
underneath.
like gray or something.
Yeah,
right?
now maybe in post they'll CG it to where they're white.
Sure.
They could totally do that, but
They still need to change other
regardless of
things.
the point, it's like, man, even if that's the case, I don't want him to have no big ass bug eyes like this. like if he gonna have the white eyes, they need to be like the Spider-Man eyes in the Marvel movies where they like can open and squint and stuff. Or in like Deadpool, but they don't need to be this big though.
Oh god, no!
I'm like these big ass fucking.
I didn't even see the eyes at first. I do
fucking,
now.
I just got some LASIK surgery.
Yeah. I see them now.
Sunglasses he got on. Man, it's and people keep asking like, oh, why he got on them dots on his face? Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna CG Robert Pattinson's jawline here onto the stuntman. So when you're watching it, it looks like it's him on the bike.
Then it's not even gonna.
But they do that all the time, though.
I know,
like that fight scene.
Yeah,
in,
that's true.
Batman versus Superman. That ain't Ben Affleck.
Oh hell
doing
no!
None of that shit. He might have jumped down.
I'll say that actually looks like Ben Affleck in the.
That's what everybody keeps saying. It was like, why they got Ben Affleck being Robert Pattinson's stuntman? They said you can't be Batman no more, but you can be stuntman.
I mean, it does look like his jawline. Just saying.
Oh god, he got that booty chin, just like Ben Affleck. Oh man. So I mean, look, I look now. I've heard people say like, "Oh, his cape is going to be retractable because you don't see it right now." So they're saying like, "Oh, the cape is going to come out and he can," because they're like, "Oh, he's on the bike, so the cape is like drawn in, so it don't get sucked into tires and shit." But then when he's not on the bike, but I'm like, "Well,
what is this? Your family camping trip
yeah,
or what?"
I'm like, man, but see, because
why
they said
does Batman need a retractable cape?
look,
Either
I'm like,
give him the cape
or don't. Or no, there ain't no or don't. You give him the
damn cape.
Because that, man, see, again,
They're gonna end up with one of these
up,
little carnival capes. You know the little carnivals and you play the game.
where it's like a half
yeah,
cape.
it's like half a cape. They're just gonna tuck one of them bad boys
twirl
on him.
around. Whee! Look, they finna fuck this shit up.
I want.
This is my problem. Because
Doesn't matter what I want.
Because they done fucked up Batman so bad.
Yeah.
They just letting them do anything now. They just do whatever. Just make Batman cool again. Yep. So now we finna go full circle back to some weird Adam West, Mad Max. It's like they try to take every version of Batman and make him into one, and it don't fit together. It just don't look right.
Yeah, no one Batman movie, film on screen has ever been modeled after just one Batman.
Yeah, they're all in an amalgamation
to
some
degree.
They
pick and choose like
but
different
the
things
costume
and kinda
ain't like slapped together like
no.
okay the hood's gonna be like Adam West,
but lately,
the body gonna be like Arkham games.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
and then we gonna get this motherfucker some Old Navy cargo pants and some tactical boots. He ain't even wearing like cool Batman boots okay, whatever. All right, so yeah, I mean, and I know people are gonna argue with me because I've already been arguing with people. Some people love this shit, some people hate it. I fucking hate it. So
I fucking hate it also.
I mean, yeah. So say what you will. I mean, I'm not with it.
I mean, they're gonna have to do a lot of. They're gonna have to pull a Sonic times 10.
Yeah, man. And then the other argument is, oh, this is just gonna be his suit at the beginning of the movie. By the end, he gonna have like a legit Batman. So I'm like, no, he ain't.
Okay, so
no,
they're gonna pull a.
I'm like, no,
they're
he
gonna
ain't.
pull a Marvel and have a fucking janky ass suit 90 minutes into the movie, and then the last 20, you're gonna get a really cool suit.
No,
no,
it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
They
this
ain't Disney.
They making the excuse for this bullshit. They know it's whack, and they like, no, this ain't gonna be the suit the whole time. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
this is the suit. This is gonna be from start to finish the suit. I promise you.
Yeah.
This is what you got.
Yeah.
So y'all was all geeked and hyped for this shit. I'm like, and just to, I love the excuse making. It's like, first it's like everybody, when there was a rumor it was gonna be Robert Pattinson, everybody, I think the whole world was like, oh fuck no. And then once it was confirmed, you had to watch these same people who was like, man, fuck that bullshit, start to go like, well, maybe he ain't so bad.
I am not one of those people. I have said from the very beginning, when we heard it was going to be Robert Pattinson, I was like, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
When
we
it was
knew
confirmed it was
him,
going to be Robert Pattinson, I was like, fuck that shit. When they started, it's going to come out and it's going to have this many people, fuck that shit. When I started seeing the suit, fuck that shit.
Yeah, now we really didn't see the suit.
Now I've
really
seen the
fuck
leaked
that
set
shit.
photos. Fuck that shit.
Hell yeah.
I am dead set. I don't know why, but I just have a gut feeling that this is just going to be terrible.
Man, you know what? And again, with all these things, if we're wrong, we will eat crow and admit if it's good. If it look, I mean, everything's subjective.
I would say we're going to end up eating crow anyways, because you know that this is going to have to be a go to a theater.
Oh yeah, but
there is
it's
no
like
DVD for this one.
But my thing is like I don't care if it makes money. It's just like if I don't think it's good, then it's whatever. But
good, yeah.
my thing is just this. I really now more than ever really regret the fact that we didn't get to see what Ben Affleck would have did with a Batman movie. Like
a solo Batman?
Yeah, like say what you will about his portrayal in BVS and Justice League. Like in Justice League, man, he was going through some shit because he was just sleepwalking through that shit. BVS, I didn't like what they did with his character, but I did like his performance.
I agree.
I like him as Bruce.
I definitely
I like him as Batman. Bruce. I just don't like that they made him murder every fucking body that moved, and it was just a bad movie overall.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I liked what he was doing, like, as far as like what he was putting up on the screen. So I think if he would have got a chance to do his version of Batman, I would have been really happy with it. But as it stands right now, yeah, man, this shit, y'all can keep all this. I don't know. All right, come on, fuck this shit. Moving on.
I usually don't let you pat yourself on the back, master, but that epinephrine joke was pretty good.
I got this.
I wanna lick you from your head to your toes, and I wanna move from the bed down to the floor, and I wanna you make it so good I don't wanna leave, but I gotta know what's your fantasy.
I love that song.
Yeah, I know. So if you can't guess,
right?
We're reviewing Fantasy Island. Not the TV show from the 70s, but the 2020 movie from Blumhouse and Sony, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Sony and Blumhouse.
Yeah, so if you haven't joined us for one of our reviews, normally what we would do is a mullet-style review where we would do non-spoilers at the front and spoilers at the back. But it's really difficult to talk about this without spoiling it because there's so many. I'm pretty sure I counted 5 plot twists in the movie. So I can only tell you about talk about the first 10 minutes without spoiling anything. So we're just going to do full on spoilers. So be forewarned. This is a spoiler review of Fantasy Island. It's been out for couple weeks now. So, I would assume if you really didn't want to have anything spoiled, you would went and seen it by now. If not, go ahead, do your thing. But you have been warned. We are spoiling the movie. So there you go. So we will give our review at the end, and we're just going to go ahead and start talking about it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Where to begin? So,
can I just do this?
Oh wow. Okay, it's one. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say my review at the end, but I'm gonna say this up front: the movie is not good. It is not good. It is bad. So they market it like it's some kind of quirky horror movie.
Yeah,
like almost like a hipster,
and
like a millennial horror movie.
I would say with it being Blumhouse, that's kind of what I was expecting. Like Happy Death Day, or
sure, yeah,
the one where the app counts down.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
Or like a modern Final Destination or something,
or even like Idle Hands.
Yeah,
or
something like that. Those were all good movies. So I was like, okay, now we're gonna get like a modern. Well, I didn't see the one with the countdown clock, but everything else was relatively good. And I was like, all right. Let's go. I was expecting crazy twists because it's a Blumhouse.
Right.
I was expecting, all right, you got to sit and pay attention.
I mean, there are twists. You do get the twists.
I mean, not like a Us twist. Or
no, hell no.
I was looking for
this
like
ain't even
some
in the same ballpark.
No,
as
I was
Us.
looking for like some deep seated. I was like, okay, because every time we watch a Blumhouse, you always find like these deep, really crazy theories that I don't see
we'll
when
see what
I'm
happens
watching.
when we see Invisible Man. We'll see what happens with that one.
And I'm just like, I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, no, this was I don't know who
approved it, but
whoever pitched this shit needs a raise because this was some hot garbage and they sold this shit good to get the money. I don't know what the budget was on it. I didn't look it up, but this was terrible. So the whole premise of this is basically there's an island where you go and the island is magical and it grants your wishes, your deepest desires, your fantasy on Fantasy Island. And so you go there and you live out your thing. And now in the show, at least, it was mostly harmless. It would get dark here and there, but it was mostly pretty harmless. It was kind of family friendly. It was more about like love and learning something about yourself. It's kind of life lesson.
Yeah, they kind of expanded on that. Like the guy said, most of them are like weird sexual stuff or crazy sexual stuff or whatever.
Yeah. But like in this, they went like more of a horror slant. But in reality, though, there was only one fantasy that was outright like I want to fuck somebody up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the girl who wanted to get back revenge on her bully. She was the only one that she was just outright like, yeah, I want to just hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was like, oh, we finna go out and do cocaine and fuck bitches and party
models
and
shit. Party.
Right, or the one kid, he's like, oh, I want to save my dad.
Yeah.
Because he died in the war or something, which I was really confused on what his goal was because no one there except the girl that you find out at the end set them up to go there in the first place. No one there knows that the island is really gonna like grant their fantasy.
Well, see,
so why
kid
was
that
his thing?
It wasn't initially.
What was his
thing
deal?
Was he wanted to enlist to make his mom proud.
Okay,
but he never did.
Okay.
He went and he became a cop instead. When he started it, he thought he was just going to like pretend to play soldier. But when he come across his dad, then his deepest fantasy was really to see his dad one more time. Okay. It wasn't even to save him. It was just to see him one more time.
And that shit got
and then it kind of
shit.
Took him to like the place where his dad. I want to say it was Korea.
Yeah. He was on a mission and he saved his men, but he died in the process. But that shit got dark as fuck because it got to the point where he was like, "No, you have to go on the mission. You can't be a coward." Like he was finna shoot him. I'm like, so hold on. I'm like, he's sitting here going like, no, fuck this shit. If I know I'm going to go into this to die, I'm going back home to my family and my son.
I would say the only thing I can think of is that
I don't even know how that would even worked.
We learned that the kid, the guy, the soldier guy, had a part in...
Yeah, well, they all do to some degree.
Right,
yeah.
but we know that
he is directly
because
responsible.
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't.
So the only thing
guy
I
that
can
died in
think
fire,
of
yeah.
is that he knew he didn't go in and save that guy.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Yeah.
So he couldn't stop and tell his dad, hey, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You have to go, you have to make a play. So that was like kind of where I connected the two.
And I think we went into this too balls deep, and we need to back up just a little bit more.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
We like I said at the beginning, these people are going there to have their fantasies granted. Now, there's varying fantasies that they want, and there's only one that's like malicious. Now, initially, we're led to believe that the characters just think that it's just some kind of retreat. And some people are just paid to just do some shit for you and, play with your balls or something.
Right,
give
like
you a
they're
massage,
actors and actresses.
Whatever. Feed you grapes and some shit and, dress up like slaves for you. Who fucking knows?
Right.
And, rub baby oil on you or rub around on a slip and slide. Who fucking knows? Whatever fucking weird shit you like. So, but then they come to find out. Now, and then, remember, I said there's 5 plot twists. So, those at home, try to keep score. So, plot twist number 1 is that the island is magically enchanted somehow, and it can grant the fantasies for real. Like, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You want $1 billion, the island will give it to you somehow. So, plot twist number 2 is that the characters, all of their fantasies start to go bad. Like, no matter what it was, they all start to go kind of south, except for the girl who wants the family. Hers is pretty much okay. She just is like, she feels guilty about the fire, so she asks to change. She's like, well, if I would have known it was real and I could have changed anything, then I would have chose this because, like,
right,
I feel guilty.
Saved a life
right,
as
exactly.
opposed to, being
I get
selfish.
everything I want, yeah, and I
Right.
still, gotta live with the fact that, not only is this A, not real, but B, I'll let somebody die, which still didn't make sense because I'm like, well, it's not real, so what the fuck? Like,
and she even plays it out, like,
yeah.
she's like, this isn't real, and...
Right, so it's like, why are you doing any of this?
Right.
So it's like, whatever. So anyway, that's besides the point. So all of the fantasies start to go bad, and, through some...
I would say hers even kind of went bad, because her daughter was, like, all evil and shit.
That wasn't until after she changed her fantasy, though. Because when they were on the beach, she was like, oh, you know why you can't come here, mommy, or whatever. That was the only weird thing she did. She didn't become all like, you ain't shit, mommy, and, your daddy's dead because of you and all that until, like, they were in a cave.
No, I was
that.
talking about when they were on the beach.
Well, she said something kind of weird to her, but I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. That just kind of tipped me. I was like, wait a minute. Why would her little girl be saying something like that?
That's fair. It was kind of odd, because even the music was all like, duh, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it got all weird and creepy.
So, but yeah, so as it goes on and their fantasies start to go awry and people start getting hurt and killed and stuff like that, they find out that it's not really their fantasies that they're playing out. It's someone else's fantasy to have them all there to torture them.
Right.
And we come to find out now, this is plot twist number 3 now. Okay. Or no, I'm sorry.
Number 2.
I'm sorry. That it's someone else's fantasy to have them there in the first place, and that they are torturing them. Now we find out that person is some guy named Nick who died in a fire, and that they're all connected to that fire, and they played some part in it to one degree or another. And the girl that's there to torture the other girl, she was supposed to have gone on a date with him, but she got cold feet and he died in the fire because of that. That's plot twist number 2. So they continue to go on trying to figure out a way how to get off the island and survive this. plot twist number 3 is that it is not Nick who died in the fire who's doing it because he's dead. So how would he even... Because that didn't make sense to me in the first place. So I was like, how does he have any kind of fantasy?
Well,
he's dead.
At first they said it was one of the other members on the island was Nick's mom.
Oh, okay.
They said that Julia was Nick's mom, and Nick's mom wanted revenge because her son died.
Oh, okay. I must didn't catch that part.
And so that's where it came in that Nick's mom brought them all there because she wanted revenge on the people that killed Nick.
Okay.
But it wasn't his mom. It was the psycho bitch that he went out with once.
Yes. Okay. And that's plot twist number 4.
Right.
That it's really the girl who was torturing the other chick. She was trying to date Nick, and they went out the one time, and then he died in the fire, and she blamed all of them. And plus, she just wanted to get revenge on the bitch that was a bully to her in school as well.
Right.
She was like, I ain't know nothing to do with this bullshit. Like, why am I here?
She blamed him. Like, the girl was waiting for Nick. Nick didn't show up because he was being burned to death in a fire.
Right.
And she blamed the bully for her thoughts after, like, as he was in the fire, after he stood her up, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like, she blamed the bully for those thoughts that she had.
Yeah. It was
making her feel inadequate and all that other bullshit.
It was a bunch of vague, like, I just wanted an excuse to kill your ass shit. like it wasn't really about anything.
No,
she just was like, I just don't like you.
Stupid, petty bullshit.
Exactly.
Like, even there was a character in the movie, and he's like, y'all need to grow the fuck up.
Right. Like they even make it a point, even the movie makes fun of its, like, own dumbass plot. It's like, they went out one time, like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah. So, and then plot twist number 5 is that by the end of the film, the girl who was kidnapped, who was the bully to our would-be killer of the film, she gets to grant a fantasy to have her and Nick be together forever, and then Nick comes out of some water on some, like, Friday the 13th Jason shit, grabs this bitch and pulls her down in there, and then they drown and die together. Okay, so a few things about the ending specifically, but the movie in general.
Okay.
They make it a point to say, and Michael Pena, I feel so bad. He is so wasted in this shit. I'm like, he's good for what little bit he's in it, but I'm just like, why? How did they convince you to come do this bullshit? And how they end up giving him tattoo, like the Asian kid who ends up being tattooed, like he's not like a midget like the guy was from the 70s show and shit, but because at first tattoo, quote unquote, was his wife, the assistant, and then when she dies or whatever, he keeps the one kid and he's like, yo, you're my assistant now, and you gonna say the plane when people come and shit. Anyway,
the wife said it in the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but she didn't. The plane. She didn't do it all like that. She was just she came in all like beautiful and like sun kissed and shit, like wind swept hair, and she's like, the plane is here. I was like, oh, that was so sweet. She should get the plane. I hope there's a deleted scene or something on the DVD with that.
The plane.
Oh man, I would die for that. But yeah, so they make it. Michael Pena makes it a point to say that the fantasy can't be changed. You only get one fantasy per guest. You can't change the fantasy, and it must reach its natural conclusion. They say that like 3 different times in the movie.
Right.
But they let the girl, he was like, oh, all of my guests get a chance to, have a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And they let the one girl have a fantasy that the killer and Nick would be together and he kills her.
Right.
Why did her fantasy override the killer's fantasy? She never got to finish hers out. It was supposed to be, I want to get revenge and kill all these motherfuckers.
He kept saying...
Because remember, they even asked, how does all this end? And he said, with your deaths.
He only had to say that because the island was keeping his wife alive.
Yeah, so he was helping them, but still, he can't break the rules of how the fantasy worked, though. The magic, he can't just change that.
He wasn't changing the magic. They were tiptoeing around what the actual rules were. The Julia lady kept explaining subtly
I know.
Or she explained it to like the Asian
I know he
lady.
was just saying that you can't change your fantasy just because he just didn't want you to.
Right.
I get that part. But the fact that it then went into, I can have a fantasy that overrides your fantasy. Because by killing her, now she never got to finish her fantasy.
I guess because she was...
Well, I guess you could, now that I'm talking about, I guess you could use that same argument for all the other guests.
Right.
Because he said everybody gets a fantasy, but if she ends up killing all of them, then they didn't get to play theirs out either.
Right.
So, yeah, okay. So the whole thing don't make fucking sense.
No,
okay.
it's all crazy.
Okay, so I'll let that go. It's all stupid. I'll let that go. Fine. I know Stork is probably making fun of me somewhere right now. Like, just let it go, Mike. I'm like, no! As I went through the same thing with the Doolittle movie. But, so I went into this thinking that it was going to be a horror, kind of like a quirky horror comedy.
Yeah.
It's not scary, though.
Not at all.
At all. Like, the scariest thing in there, they got some big dude that's, like, torturing the girl, his mouth sewn shut, and then the one guy with the burns on him, that's, like, the scary... Or, no, I guess the one girl's doppelganger, I guess.
That looked like from Us? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. That's scary, I guess.
I was waiting for that to be the plot twist. Like, somehow, some way, it connected to, like, Us or something like that.
No,
and
Jordan Peele said, don't you dare
I was
bring
saying,
this
when
bullshit
that
over here.
chick, like, dropped down and she had the sunken-in eyes and her hair, I was like...
And she's all crawling on the ceiling
I was like,
and shit, yeah.
Oh, that's it. And then it wasn't it.
No.
She just is a reflection.
I'd have rather that bitch turned into Pennywise or some shit than they've been connected to us. But, I mean, it was just like, it was not scary at any point. So it wasn't a horror comedy, because there's a lot of humor in this. Like, they crack a whole fuck ton of jokes. And usually horror movies have jokes in them, you know, like you kind of loosen people up and get them, you know, kind of comfortable with some humor, and then you start, you know, stabbing the shit out of motherfuckers.
Right.
But
got one of them American Psycho things.
Right, exactly.
No, we didn't get into that.
But with this, the movie never becomes scary. It's more of like a suspense comedy, a thriller comedy, I guess. Because, I mean, it's not scary, but, I mean, it is, like, suspenseful, you know, in areas, you know, because you want to know, like, oh, okay, what's going to happen? How are they going to get out of this? Yada, yada. But it was just, I don't know, like, and it was so disingenuous and weird because it's like, if he could do whatever he wanted and change the rules and this, that, and the other, it's like, why did the island favor the main killer girl's like fantasy over everybody else's? Because it's like, well, yes, if he would fulfill her fantasy, then he could have kept his wife, right? That was the whole thing. He was like, I have to do this because it's not...
So
okay.
he would have been able to keep his wife, but she would still be dying.
Sure, I mean, but he could have brought her back and all that other bullshit, whatever, because he said he had done it a bunch of times and yada, yada, yada. It was a whole thing. But besides that point...
I think it was just the timing.
But besides that, though, he's still not fulfilling the fantasies of the people when he's saying, oh, all of my guests get their own fantasy,
right,
this, that, and the other. So it's like, well, why is the island preferring her fantasy to be fulfilled, but everybody else can just get fucked and die?
I think it was because she was on the island first.
Yeah.
So the who gets to the genie first gets the wishes.
I guess, but it's still giving them but then it gives it a fantasy. But see, again, I can't see because I'm like, it gives the girl the fantasy at the end to kill the other girl. So it's like, well, why did that matter?
She never said that
to be together forever. The island could have brought him back to life.
Exactly, it could have, but
it chose
the island never lets fantasies play out as they want because it knows the who gets to the island gets the wishes.
Okay.
So the blonde got the...
All right, we can leave the logic of the shit alone.
I'm just saying.
I know, the logic of the movie is flawed as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But as far as, like... Now, if you can't tell, the whole time we've been talking about this, we've been mainly talking about the plot of the movie and barely really the characters because they aren't really characters. They're like cardboard cutouts of characters. Like, they don't really, like, exist.
No, and it's really weird.
Because the movie starts off, and they're getting off the plane onto the island. Like, we don't even know who they are.
Right.
Like, the movie starts with them getting on the island. So, from the get-go, there is no
There's
time
no
to learn
character development.
Yeah, like who they are. Like I don't remember like any of their fucking names. Like when you was throwing them there, I'm like, damn, I'm glad you remember that shit because I'm like, I
The
didn't.
only
go
one I
bother
remember
looking up.
is TJ and Brax, and that's the
Brax is the guy who ends up
Brax
being
is the
tattooed by
Asian
the
dude,
end. Yeah.
and then the TJ is his brother, and that's it. And like
Rourke, I know, is Michael Pena's character.
Yeah.
Mr. Rourke, but
and then Julia was his wife. That's it. That's all I remember.
See, a lot more than I did.
There's an Asian lady.
I had Tattoo and Rourke. That was it.
I'll say there's an Asian lady, and then there's two blondes, and.
But yeah, but they spend no time like getting to know these people. Like now you learn about them to a degree through the backstory of why their fantasy is what it is and how they're connected to each other. You do get that to a point, but it's not. The movie's plot isn't interesting enough to keep you engaged, so it needs strong characters to make me care about the shit that is happening.
Yeah, and I don't.
Because it's like the shit that's happening isn't exciting or like, oh man, this is just so crazy. It's just like...
It's not a traditional
whatever.
Blumhouse either, where you gotta like stare at the screen and like I don't know.
Like I said, I expected it to be scary, and then when I realized, okay, this isn't going to be scary, let's see where this plot goes. The plot isn't very interesting either, and is really convoluted, and it breaks its own rules. So I'm like, okay, give me some characters that I care about, so then the little bit of drama that does come about, at least I can be like, well, I want to see this person survive, so at least I have that to keep me engaged.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Even that, it's like, I don't care. The one thing I did like about this movie... I'll change it. One thing I loved about this movie has nothing to do with the plot, the characters, the story,
the scenery was nice.
The island does look
nice,
itself. And all that shit is shot well, but all that shit's irrelevant. I was so pleasantly surprised at the amount of like representation in the movie, because basically our main characters are Hispanic, Asian, and African American.
Yes,
like,
that's true.
Like, they put the white girls on the posters and shit, but it's like she's the villain and or the supporting character. It's the Asian lady is our main story that we follow through most of it. The Asian brother is the other one that, whose story we follow, and we know he's going to be in the sequel if they make another one. If this makes enough money, he's going to be in it. Because he's stuck on the island now because he let his brother go away, which I don't even want to talk about that because, again, none of this shit makes sense. And I'm like, man, so you can just leave the island too? Like, granted, the person whose fantasy is being fulfilled has to stay, but the fantasy can exist outside the island? I'm like, so if my fantasy is to blow your house up, I can just do that from the island? Like, what the fuck? Like, your house just explodes across the ocean? Like, all right. Like, fuck, man. Like, that's like, you could just, like, set off nukes from that motherfucker then. Fuck it. Anyway. See, again. So, like, I can't talk about it making sense.
I'm telling you,
it all starts to fall apart.
There's so much in here, and you're right. None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if I explain, like, backtrack and be like, oh, well, you missed this, and it still doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah, I know, because even with all those pieces in there, it's like, yeah, but if you can do that, then you can do anything with this fucking
time
place.
travel.
Pretty much, man, because that's basically, they do that in the movie, too. They time travel. They send her back to the fire. So it's like, and they have multiple versions of themselves on the island, because the one girl has her evil version of herself, which I didn't even understand what that was about. I'm like, whose fantasy was that?
Right, I don't know.
Oh, it's like, where did that even come from? Because I'm like, that was not a part of the one chick's plan.
And then they had, like, all the lost souls in the river that, they're sea snakes. No, they're really lost souls from the damn island. And
then the other thing, too, is, you know what I thought they were going to do that they didn't do? Oh, and just to real quick finish that point, I was just really happy with the representation. We had, like, 2 Asian characters that survived to the end of this. And, our main character, which they kind of play him as a villain, Mr. Rourke, Michael Pena's character. But by the end, it's like, well, he was doing some shitty shit, but he's not really all that bad, I guess.
Right. He had a good reasoning and whatever.
Yeah. The white people didn't fare so well, though. A lot of them died. But I was just really surprised at how much representation that was in this of people of color, and I really appreciated that. But But as it is right now, I don't think that the movie. I don't know how many drafts this went through, how long this was in production or whatever, but the way it's set up right now, the movie is lacking like real hard. It's kind of all over the place. Like all the subplots and multiple plot twists were unnecessary. The subplots, the multiple plot twists were unnecessary. The stuff with him and his wife and why he's doing it, like that was unnecessary. Like the whole thing about the guy being a coward, not wanting to go into the fire, and him thing with his dad, and I think they had something that could have been cool here. It just needed, I don't know, just a new writer, a different perspective to come at it.
Maybe
just don't make it. I don't know, man. and again, I didn't hate the movie. It was just so mediocre throughout.
I agree.
That I was just like, I'm just so fucking bored. I'm like, this is so.
I almost wanted to watch it again, just to
like. Did I miss something?
Yeah,
right.
I didn't want to go watch it again because it was just such a great movie. Like,
right.
Endgame, I wanted to see that bitch
like
12 times.
Right after, right.
This I wanted to see again just to make sure I was following it right.
Yeah, because like I said, because there's so many plot twists. It's like you think it's one thing, and then it's like but this, and then it's like, oh, okay, now I get what's happening. Is this, and it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Right, like I wanted to watch it again just because I wanted to go back and be like, the fuck.
I mean, if the whole movie would have just been like some kind of like Saw / Hostel type shit, where it was just an island of just motherfuckers just torturing people they didn't like and just fucking people over and shit.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I would have been like, yeah, that would have made a much better movie. But what they decided to do, like this was just a mess. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts of what you thought on it, but I was not a fan. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and give our rating for this. If you haven't listened to one of these before, our rating system goes really fucking liked it, meh, hated it, and really fucking hated it. So, Mel, we'll start with you. What would you rate Fantasy Island?
Meh.
Okay. That's fair.
I mean, I didn't really like it. Mm-hmm. I didn't really dislike it.
Sure.
I just kind of left watching, like, after we finished watching it, I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I was just confused. And so I think just meh.
I'm going to go hated it.
Okay.
I think this is the first thing I've given a hated it to this year so far.
Yeah, first one this year.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, not because, I mean, it's shot adequately enough. The score is adequate. The acting is adequate to bad. The plot is adequate to bad. It's just all just subpar. And I mean, I know usually that would be a meh for me, but because it had potential to be something that could have been really cool,
I think,
that's why I'm being a bit harsher on it. Because again, if the whole movie would have been her torturing her bully,
sure,
all the best parts of the movie, if you can say there are any good parts, the best parts are the scenes with her torturing that girl all the way until she's like, oh, is that really happening? Which that whole thing was stupid, because it was like, why would you make a fantasy to torture her and then pretend that you didn't know she was really being tortured, and you're saving her just to torture and kill her later at the end anyway?
I think, like, the scenes where they were the fantasies. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like the two brothers, once they get to their beach house,
sure, with
all their half-naked models and their drinks and whatever, that was a good scene. Well, a decent scene.
Sure, fair enough.
I don't know if I'd say good, but that's decent. Fair. The scene where the girl, the Asian lady, is like at the restaurant. She's with her past lover, and you know, he's being genuine and sincere, and he has no recollection of anything.
Right.
That's a good scene. The scene on the beach where she wakes up and it's her daughter and her husband, that's a good scene.
Sure.
But I think that
All the stuff connecting it together
Well,
was
like,
bullshit.
even the scene with the kid and the dad, when the dad figures out, he's like, you have my dog tags. Why?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like unfolding this story and figuring out, hey, he's really here. That was a cool scene. I mean, that had potential. It was just everything in between, like you said, that was connecting all of it was just garbage. It looked like it belonged in 2 separate movies.
Yeah.
So, like, if you take those good scenes versus the other stuff.
Like I said, I think and you could have made a better movie with just the fantasy stuff and not had all this convoluted double cross secret
Right, I
bullshit.
agree.
Like, you could have dropped all that out and had a much better movie. But I think if they were going to make a Blumhouse movie and do some horror shit with this,
Yeah.
it should have been like Saw or Hostel or something like
agree.
that, where it's like, it's motherfuckers, they go there to live out just the sickest, craziest. It could have been like The Purge and shit on an island where they can
Right.
go there and just do anything.
Right.
Like, that could have been the potential for this to just been a cutthroat, just slasher, gory, a really just fucked up horror movie. This could have been something good. And they just squandered this shit. I'm like, that's why I'm giving it hate of it, because
I
the
can support
potential
that.
for this to have been a really good horror movie was really there.
I
and
support that.
They wasted it. Like, I would have never tried to remake or redo in some kind of way Fantasy Island, but if you told me I could and it was going to be a Blumhouse movie and it was going to be some rated R shit,
Oh, yeah.
I would have went ham with this. Like, I don't...
It could have been endless. You're right.
Because normally the joke is, they should have gave this shit to Blumhouse. Like,
Right.
they would have did something cool with
Right.
it. And they give this shit to Blumhouse and they fuck it up. And it's like, see, it's fucking with Sony.
Yeah. I get it.
All right.
I totally support that.
Okay, but that is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to show us some love, so take your little fingers and hit that like, subscribe, give us a rating, follow us, review us, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, or, you just want to say hi, we do accept those, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, and we are on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. As a show, I am also on Instagram. Instagram is at DJ Mellymel. But all you have to do to find us is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.